Hi guys, welcome back to the Bold Hairspring. If you're new to the channel, my name is Ivan, and in today's video I'll be showing you something a little bit controversial. I've got not one but two 60€ Chinese Rolex Daytona Homage watches from a brand called Pagani Design on AliExpress. The first one I got has a two-tone case and bracelet, and the second one is with a ceramic bezel and green subdials. Let's get started. Alright guys, so why are these watches controversial? Well, many people literally hate them because what Pagani Design does is the following. They take the catalog of a popular brand such as Rolex and then they start ripping off the design of pretty much every single watch that's in there. They rebrand it as a Pagani Design watch or whatever the case is, and finally they sell it on AliExpress for very little money. But since technically these watches are not replicas because they don't say Rolex on the dial, there are people that actually enjoy them, including myself, and the main reason for that is that they usually offer decent quality at a decent price. You see, I don't judge anyone, and I really respect people's decision to buy and enjoy whatever they wish, as long as we are not talking about replicas. Plus, I don't really believe brands like Pagani Design hurt the big players in the game. I even think that in many occasions these brands actually encourage buyers to go for the real deal, right? But anyway, I'm not going to discuss this any further, but please let me know in the comments below if you own an Homage watch, which one is it, and what's your opinion of brands such as Pagani. Alright, so let's start with a review of these Pagani Daytonas. I'll be switching back and forth between both models throughout the video so that you can have a good look at both of them. The dimensions and the specifications of the watches are exactly the same. The case diameter is 40mm, the height is 11.5, including the crystal. Then we have the lug-to-lug distance, which is 48mm, but keep in mind that the end links stick out a little bit, so end link to end link, that distance is 53.5mm. These watches were a little bit more like 42mm on the wrist, and the reason for that is that we have an oversized crown and the chrono pushers on the right side of the case, but they are fairly comfortable pieces nonetheless. The design of the case, as already mentioned, is a straight copy of the Rolex Daytona, so the watches look pretty nice. Then the finishing of the case, I can tell you that is quite decent considering the price. It's okay. It's high polished, and then if we have a closer look at the two-tone model, we'll see that the gold plating is applied nicely on the stainless steel bezel, on the crown and the pushers, but not so well on the middle links of the bracelet, especially in between here, as you can see, which makes me wonder how long it will be before that plating starts to wear off. And for that reason you may want to consider one of their full stainless steel models, so that you don't have to worry about it. Then both watches have very nice sunburst dials that sit under sapphire crystals, which is very impressive that for less than 70€ you get a sapphire crystal on a watch. And these dials look very nice under natural light. The dials have the typical 3 sub-registers layout at 3, 6 and 9 o'clock positions, but they do not match the Rolex Daytona in terms of functionality. The sub-register at 3 o'clock shows the current time in a 24-hour format, while the one at 6 shows the seconds, and finally the one at 9 registers the minutes when the chronograph is running, of course. So you can time things up to 60 minutes. We also have applied markers, and the printing on the dial is surprisingly sharp. Then at the 12 o'clock position we find the Pagani Design logo and branding. Funnily, the logo reminds me of the Tudor shield for some reason, and the name reminds me of both the Pagani supercar manufacturer and Porsche design watches as well, which is quite a coincidence, right? Then between the 4 and 5 hour markers we find an awkwardly placed date window, but the overall quality of the dial, I think it's pretty impressive. On the right we find the screw-down crown, signed with the Pagani Design logo, and the screw-down pushers. Both are easy to operate, and together with the screw-down case back apparently make this watch water resistant to 100 meters. Now, when you buy watches from AliExpress, you should really question their water resistance, no matter how it's advertised. But in this case, I can tell you that these watches are good enough for swimming. I've tested them a couple of times in the salt waters of the Mediterranean Sea, and also at the river near my hometown. Didn't have any problems though, so you're good to go with them in the water if you want. But what makes these watches really good value is what's inside them. You see, Pagani is using a genuine Seiko VK63 Mecha Quartz movement, which is a really great choice for those of you looking to add a cheap chrono to the collection. These movements are reliable and also very accurate, plus on a single battery they will last anywhere from 2 to 4 years. Keep in mind that a Seiko watch with this very same movement will cost you around €150 if not more, whereas the cheapest automatic chronograph watches go for 1,000 or more. So what are the negatives then? Well, your main concern here is quality control. And although the ceramic bezel on my green model is beautiful, it looks like somebody has tried to stab it with a screwdriver, then the screws on the oyster style bracelet are quite loose, so I really recommend applying some Loctite on them as soon as you receive the watch. Then the clasp has some really sharp edges and corners. I mean, so sharp that you can easily damage the surface you rest your wrists on, like when you're sitting at the desk and using the computer. But it's a Submariner style clasp, so it's easy to operate. And Pagani has even copied the EasyLink system from Rolex, which is a little bit stiff, but it works. Then you get no warranty, but that's to be expected considering the price and where you get the watch from. Oh, and Pagani has used some sort of recycled street paint for the lume, so don't count on telling the time in the dark. But other than that, it's a pretty decent watch, and you get more than what you pay for. Before we finish the review, let me just show you where exactly I got these watches from and some of the other color options available. I got the green bezel one from the Pagani Design Ali global store for €52 and the two-tone from the Trendy Men store for 67. Now, I know that the prices I'm showing you are a little bit different, and that's because I got them during the spring sale, but don't worry because there are sales on AliExpress every now and then, so if you decide to go for one of these watches, check the AliExpress website every couple of days and there will be a sale eventually. Both watches took about 2 weeks to arrive to Spain. That's pretty good considering that they come all the way down from China. And as you can see, the two-tone is also available with black dial and with a white one as well. Then the full stainless steel with ceramic bezel is available in classic Rolex black and white, and also with a blue bezel and silver dial. All of these models look very nice, so you should simply go for the one that you like the most. Alright, I think we can end this review here. In my opinion, these Paganis are very fun watches, and that's all. They are no replacement nor an alternative to Rolex Daytona, and they never will be. But they are cheap and they look good. The Seiko Mecha Quartz movement inside is reliable and accurate. On top of that you get a sapphire crystal, a ceramic bezel, and a decent water resistance. All for less than €70 when on sale. All taken into consideration, I definitely recommend them to those who don't want to spend thousands or even hundreds on a watch. These watches also make good presents, so if you are too ashamed to get one for yourself, then consider getting one for your best friend. Or simply subscribe to the channel, as I will be giving these away at some point in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.